The Galactic Concord had convened on Xylos Prime under a fragile peace. 57 species, each representing empires older than Earth's recorded history, sat in the amphitheater of polished obsidian, their diplomats cloaked in ceremonial silks and bioluminescent scales. At the center of the chamber stood the human delegation, 3 unassuming figures in simple gray uniforms, no crests, no armor, no visible weapons. To the assembled aliens, humanity was a curiosity, a young, fractious species that had only achieved warp travel 83 standard cycles ago. They'd been admitted to the Concord as observers, barely more than children at the galactic table. Grand Marshal Verketh of the Krell hegemony leaned forward, his chitinous mandibles clicking with amusement. "Earth representative," he rumbled through the universal translator. "You requested an emergency session to address the recent incidents along the Perseus Rim. Explain why your primitive vessels trespassed into sovereign Krell space." Commander Alara Vance, the human lead, didn't flinch. Her eyes, dark, calm, unreadable, met Verketh's compound gaze. "We weren't trespassing, Grand Marshal. We were hunting." A ripple of laughter echoed through the chamber. The Krell were the galaxy's undisputed military superpower. Their dreadnoughts could glass continents. Their plasma lances could pierce neutron stars. Humans? They barely had orbital defenses. "Hunting what, little mammal?" sneered Lady Zin of the Silvani Collective, her crystalline voice dripping with condescension. "Space dust?" "No," Vance said evenly. "You." Silence fell like a guillotine. Before the aliens could react, the chamber's main viewport flickered. Outside, the stars seemed to warp, not with the gentle shimmer of warp drives, but with violent, jagged tears in space-time itself. From those rifts emerged not ships but shadows, sleek obsidian vessels with no visible propulsion, no running lights, no emissions. They hung in the void like knives held to a throat. "What are those?" whispered a delegate from the aquatic Valn. Vance turned to the viewport. "Our hunters." The Concord had studied human military records. They knew of Earth's carriers, submarines, and drones, quaint relics of planetary warfare. They assumed humanity's space fleet would be equally crude. They were wrong. The truth was humanity had never shown its real strength. For decades, Earth's united governments had poured resources not into flashy dreadnoughts, but into something far more terrifying: stealth, autonomy, and psychological warfare. While the galaxy built bigger guns, humans built ghosts. The Obsidian ships, designated Revenants, were AI-piloted, quantum-cloaked, and armed with relativistic kinetic rods. Each one carried the punch of a small moon, and they weren't alone. On the viewport, more rifts opened, hundreds, thousands, not just near Xylos Prime, but across the Krell border, the Silvani homeworlds, the Veln oceanic colonies. Every major power in the Concord suddenly found itself surrounded. "You see?" Vance said softly. "We learned early that in a galaxy full of giants, the smartest predator doesn't roar. It waits, it watches, and when it strikes, it ends the threat before the threat even knows it's being hunted." Grand Marshal Verketh rose, his exoskeleton trembling. "This is an act of war." "No," Vance corrected. "It's a demonstration. You've all dismissed us as primitives because we don't build monuments to our weapons. But we've been building something else: deterrence. Every one of those ships can reduce a planet to molten slag in under 3 minutes, and they're already inside your defensive perimeters." Lady Zin's crystalline form flickered with panic. "You wouldn't dare." "The Concord would." "The Concord," Vance interrupted, "exists because stronger powers allow it. Today you learn who's truly strong." A hush fell. The Revenants didn't fire. They didn't need to. Their mere presence was a scalpel held to the galaxy's jugular. Then, from the human delegation, the youngest officer, a lieutenant named Reyes, stepped forward. He activated a small holoprojector. It displayed not weapon schematics but footage: human cities in ruins, coastlines swallowed by rising seas, forests turned to ash. "We didn't become hunters because we wanted to," he said, voice raw. "We became hunters because Earth taught us that survival isn't given. It's taken, and we will survive." The message was clear. Humanity had stared into its own extinction. Climate collapse, nuclear brinkmanship, pandemics. and emerged not broken, but forged. While other species expanded through conquest, humans had perfected the art of enduring the unsurvivable. And now, they brought that same ruthless pragmatism to the stars. Grand Marshal Verketh sat down slowly. The laughter was gone. In its place, dread. Vance turned back to the assembly. We don't seek war, but if you force our hand, know this, we won't just win. We'll make sure you remember why you lost. She nodded. One by one, the revenants vanished back into folded space, leaving only stars and silence. The session adjourned without a vote. No one spoke as the humans left the chamber. But across the galaxy, defense ministers scrambled. Shipyards halted construction of new dreadnoughts. Treaties were rewritten. And for the first time in millennia, the great powers of the Concord felt something they'd long forgotten. Fear. Not of human weapons, but of the quiet, calculating species that had hidden its fangs until the perfect moment, and revealed them not with a bang, but with a whisper that echoed through every star system. Don't test us again. Because humanity's true military power wasn't in its ships, its guns, or its AI. It was in its will to do whatever it took to survive, and that was something no alien mind could ever fully comprehend.